Okay, so what happened in this bill? Okay, what happened in this bill is that people were saying that okay, Aravalis will get destroyed and all, right? I have lived in Aravalis, nothing is getting destroyed. Okay, so what is happened was what has happened? The people are going after the government, right? But is the government to be blamed here? Let me know. How many of you believe that yes, the government is to be blamed here? Let me know. How many of you believe that the government is to be blamed here? Okay, there is no shaming and naming here, right? I'm just trying to gauge your thought procedure so that I can talk over it on the basis of facts and take your suggestions and opinions. Okay, so that we can conformity, we can have a democratic system running here. I hope you all want the democratic system to run. Hello everyone, मुझे आवाज बंद कर ले यार. ठीक है, okay. The now what happened? Why the controversy erupted? They thought that the government has done something, but did the government do something here? Let me know, everyone. Did the government do something here? Yes or no? Answer in yes or no. Did the government do something here? What do you think? Okay, since you have gone through this on Instagram, that is why I'm asking you, since you might have participated in it in some way, right? So I would need answers, right? Since you would be sitting in the interviews, I need to have you, I need to you to have the feeling of the interviews, right? Okay, so that you might converse, you might be ready for the GIs that you would get in the SPJMR, right? That is why the conversation, you would need to listen and answer. Okay, so I would say a big no, right? A big no. The government didn't do anything. Okay, what happened was that, okay, a Supreme Court ruling came. Now, is the Supreme Court a part of the government? Let me know. The ruling party?
No.
Yes or no?
No, it's part of the legislation.
It's
Sorry,
part of,
the government is part of the legislation.
yeah,
It's the Supreme Court is part of the judiciary.
right. Okay, so government is part of the legislation and Supreme Court is part of the judiciary. Okay, just a second. So fundamentally, the Supreme Court is an independent branch of the government. It is a branch of the government, right? We would see that in the polity when we would be learning that. Okay, that is why I checked once. Okay, I might be wrong. So what happened? The Supreme Court ruling came. Is the government, the ruling party, the legislation, the legislative assembly responsible for this ruling? Let me know. If Supreme Court makes a ruling, is the government responsible for this? No. Mudit has said no. Thank you, Mudit. Okay, the government is not responsible for that. So we have to see what Supreme Court said, right? And why people are going after the government. The problem is that a social media firestorm erupted. Okay, now the government was opening up the Aravali range to corporate mining. Now the first question is that, okay, some people were saying that Adani and Ambani has got the contracts. Okay, first of all, how many contracts have been given to Adani and Ambani? Right? Have there been new contracts given to them? The answer to both these questions are no. Then what happened? Okay, so the main point was this: any hill under 100 meters is now unprotected and open for destruction. How much is 100 meters? Let me know. How much is 100 meters? Have you seen the high rise buildings near you? Let me know. Okay, a floor is how many meters? A floor is how many meters? This is a guesstimate question. Okay, a floor is how many meters?
3 to 4 meters.
Hmm. Everyone? Okay, I would ask question with to someone, right? Okay, this question was asked in I am Lucknow also. Okay, so estimate question is given everywhere. So I would ask whom? Okay, Anushka is from non-math background. So Anushka, right? Anushka,
Yes, sir.
Okay, Anushka. So, how long is a meter according to your own height?
How long is a meter?
Hmm. How much is your height
Uh,
in meters?
my height in centimeter would be around 150. So that divided by 100. So
Hmm.
that would be 1.5 something meter.
Okay, 1.5 meter, right? And
Yeah.
how much would be one floor of your house in meters?
Uh, as far as I can remember, my curtains are around, I think, 5, 6 meters. So maybe more than that, more than my curtains. So
Yes,
around 7, 8 meters, if I'm
8
not
meters, right?
7, 8 meters. Yeah, like 7 meters if you
So I
see
would
it.
say that a 10-floor building is equal to 80 meters,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
if I say that something below that 80-meter has been protected, what would happen? What would happen?
Something below 80 meters is protected.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like you
This is the
cannot
contention here. Any hill under 100 meters is now unprotected.
un
What is this?
like
Around
like
10
as in
floors,
yeah.
right? Something around 10 to 12 floors below that is not protected. I mean, what kind of absurd claim is this? Are you seeing this? Okay. So you are saying that, okay, I won't be able to make construction at places where the forts of Maharajas are there. Okay, on the lowest of hills. Okay, that is the absurdity of this claim that the people were making. Done. The new government bill, it was not a government bill. A flood of new mining leases are being given to corporations. Third point, the result will be complete desertification reaching the nation's capital. Okay. First of all, does does mining take place near Delhi? How many of you seen mining near Delhi? Let me know. Hello. Anyone? Okay. So
Mining does not take place near
yeah.
Delhi.
First point against this, right? Several people would say this in the GDs, okay, in MDI, and you would be prepared then. Done. Okay. So do put this point if you are getting a chance to, right? Then those who do not read the newspaper, and people do not read the newspaper, okay, they just go through it. I mean, just by gazing through the headlines. Okay. Now, what is the real headline? Okay. First is a new government bill allows rampant mining. So it was a Supreme Court judgment, not a bill. What is a bill? What is a bill? And what is an act? Anyone who knows that? Do not say that, okay, I am not interested in politics and all. It is not politics. You are being
S-
affected by
Sir,
this.
when a bill is passed by the legislature, it becomes an act.
Yes, good. Okay, we would see how a bill is passed in the legislature. But if you do not know how the bill is passed, how would you know? Okay, how is it affecting you? Which points have been taken into consideration? Okay, so the legal process has been active since 1985. Okay, to resolve a fundamental problem. There was no standard definition of Aravali's applicable across the 4 states of this. Now, did Rajasthan had a definition of Aravali? Yes, but Delhi, Haryana, and Gujarat didn't have. Okay, so the goal was to create one uniform rationalized definition. So there is a rule that has not been changed, but the impact of the rule has been taken to different states. Are you seeing this? How misinformed people are? Hello, right? Shall we move ahead? Everyone, clear till now? अभी तक क्लियर है?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Any hill under 100 meters is now open for destruction, right? Okay, now definition is far more comprehensive and protective, right? As I said, Rajasthan has built since 2006 any landform with an elevation of 100 meter off or more above the local relief. Okay, crucially, it also includes the entire enclosed area, slopes, and associated features. What is this? That means if there is a mountain which has a height of 100 meter and above, would this part be protected? Let me know. Would this part be protected? Let me know. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, talk with me. Okay, do not chat. I do
Okay.
not see the chats. Okay, that is the main purpose of having a limited batch. Okay, I need to chat with you. I don't need to chat with you. I need to talk with you. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, that if this is a hill and this is the 100-meter region and this slope is coming below that 100-meter region, that would be protected. And if this is there is a 500-meter distance between these two hills, no construction can be done in this 5-meter zone, 500-meter zone. This whole area is protected. Done. So would the new mining leases take place? Yes or no? Let me know. No. In fact, this rule, which comes under Rajasthan government since 2006, okay, needs to be taken to Haryana, Gujarat, and Delhi. How many of you have been to Gurgaon? बताओ जरा. How many of you have been to Gurgaon?
I have so.
Saheli. So when does the Aravali Hill start?
I am not aware of it, sir. Had seen it when I went to Jaipur, I
Okay.
think.
Have you been to Arjangarh metro station?
No, sir.
You might have been there. Okay.
I might have been there, but I didn't know that what that place
So
was.
there is Dronacharya, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dronacharya Sikandarpur. Before that Dronacharya station comes the Arjangarh metro station. Okay, remember
Okay.
the Arjan Singh, okay, was the only 5-star holder Air Force officer of India. Okay, died recently in last 5 years. Getting me?
Okay, sir.
So if you see towards the left side and towards the right side, you would find Rocky Mountains. That is where the Aravali ranges start. Right, you might have seen Nilgais there. Right, I have seen rabbits, Nilgais there. Okay. Now, what is this? If the distance is 500 meters, this whole area is protected. Done? Shall we move ahead? Okay. Now, new mining leases are being awarded. Let us investigate that. Right? Okay. What is this? There was an expert committee recommendation set up by the Supreme Court, which has led to no new mining leases. Right? Okay. This remains in effect until the management plan for sustainable mining is created and approved. Right? With a survey of the entire region. Are you seeing this? The new leases will be stricter, will have stricter guidelines. I have lived in such a mines. I know, okay, in 2014, some mines had got closed and livelihood of several people were impacted. Okay. Now, this is the timeline that we are looking at. Okay. Now, there was a PIL. I hope you understand what a PIL is. Everyone?
Yes, sir.
What is a PIL? किसको किसको पता जल्दी. PIL?
It's a public interest litigation where people can go to the court for something.
Right, public interest litigation. Okay, we too went to the court of against our university, right? As a student, I mean, I'm talking about my batch with a PIL. Okay, we filed it against our university when the university shifted our college from Delhi to outskirts of Delhi. Okay, where we needed to pay more to reach, pay more to live there since we could not move there from our homes, right? And no further disclosure was given by the university to shift it there. Okay, so we filed a PIL. If you do not know what a PIL is, who is at loss? Let me know. What if something happens against your society, the 100 crore society that you have taken into consideration? What is happening in Gurgaon in every monsoon? What is happening there? सबको पता है क्या हो रहा है? बोलो भाई. Have you seen the pictures?
Yes, sir. The roads are flooded, excessive traffic.
You might have seen BMWs flooded, 100 crore
Yeah.
societies with 100 crore flats flooded. So what several people have done, they have filed a PIL or a case against the MCD, वगैरह. Right? Okay, so these people might have been activists who have given a PIL. Okay. So Rajasthan in 2006, as a result, adopts its comprehensive Aravali definition. Okay, in 2024, what happens? An expert committee is constituted with members of 4 state governments. Why? Because the purview of this definition was to be taken to these people, because some people in Delhi and all had also filed some cases. Okay, so Forest Survey of India and Geological Survey of India came together along with these 4 states to make a comprehensive rule. The Supreme Court incorporates the committee's recommendations, including the Rajasthan definition, okay, and the ban on new leases until its final judgment. Done? Understood the time limit? Okay, remember this. Okay, this name is somehow easy to understand, easy to remember. Okay, now the question to be asked is, why was the timing there? Who was the target? Okay, the ask and the disappearance in just 2 to 3 days. Okay, you might have seen that Arnab Goswami came with his roaring voice against this, right? Against which Supreme Court of India? CJI? CJI was, who was CJI? The last CJI? Let me know. Who is the current CJI?
Justice D.Y. Chandrachud.
Okay, last CJI. Who would name the last CJI? These questions will be asked from you, okay, in MDI, in IM Shillong, in IMC. What would you say? In IM Kozhikode. Right, there was a student in IM Kozhikode, okay. The professors got really frustrated when they couldn't ask any new questions from her which we had prepared, other than what we had prepared. Okay, her name is Sneha Singh. Okay, you can see her in IM Bangalore. I mean, you can visit her on LinkedIn. Okay, she passed out from IM Bangalore recently. Okay, so these kind of preparations take us towards that position. So who is the CJI and who was the last CJI?
The current CJI is Justice Suryakant. I'm not sure about the last CJI.
Have you heard this name? Let me know. Have you heard this name? Okay, the last CJI was Justice Gawai. Okay, read the newspapers, everyone. I would not say that again and again and again. How many of you have started reading newspapers? Anushka has her papers. I understand. Others? बताइए सर. Anyone else? हाँ जी.
I I go through whatever I get at homes, but
हम्म.
not like properly.
अरे यार देखो, पैसे ज़्यादा लग रहे हैं तो कल का पेपर उठा के ले आओ. ठीक है, 4 दिन पहले का पेपर उठा के ले आओ, एक हफ्ते पहले का पेपर उठा के ले आओ. बट यार कितना पैसा लगेगा? एवरीवन, आर यू गेटिंग मी? ठीक है ना? सो देर इज नो मनी प्रॉब्लम, राइट? आई हैव गिवन यू द सोल्यूशन, okay, which is eligible to my students only, right? It would decrease your newspaper bill to just $100 for a year. Okay, now you need to read. You would need to read. Okay, in finance I read daily. I read daily finance. If I do not read finance, do you know how much I lost because I missed Indigo news? Let me know. Let me know. फाइनेंस की बात बता रहा हूँ. कितना कितना? कोट समथिंग, कोट अ फिगर. हाउ मच आई माइट हैव लॉस्ट बिकॉज आई didn't give sufficient attention to the Indigo news. I hope you are familiar with the Indigo news. We would also talk about that. क्या हुआ था इंडिगो में?
Yes, sir.
हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू ट्रेवल बाय इंडिगो, अगर करते हो तो? हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू ट्रेवल बाय इंडिगो? हैव यू ट्रेवल्ड बाय
I
प्लेन? एनीवन?
I have
Sorry.
so by Indigo.
Okay, it's a third class plane. Okay, I would say service, not plane. Okay, planes are of Boeing. Now, Anshuk was saying something.
Yes, sir. Sir, it is actually the largest aircraft according to the market share.
Hmm.
So, largest airline, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
So, sir,
So, what has the Minister of what?
sir, civil aviation.
Civil Aviation, right, has said on that matter?
So, on that matter, they said ki actually they sent a show cause notice to the CEO, Peter
Hmm.
Elberg,
Hmm.
and told to give a clear justification of why this disruption have occurred. There was some
Hmm.
issues with the FDTL issue, that is the flight duty time limitations,
Hmm.
which actually governs the pilot's duty time, because unlike other profession, this profession is something different, right?
Hmm.
So there is a rules which governs them how much amount of flying hours they can accumulate in a month or a week,
So, why do we
some
know
sort of
that?
thing.
Why do we need that?
Sir, because what happens is that aviation sector in India is booming,
Hmm.
and what is happening is that the proportion of the amount of pilots that are required and the amount of aircrafts that are available, is the ratio is not much not very significant.
Hmm.
So because of which
Okay.
what happens is
Stop,
that
stop.
majority of the pilots are
Okay.
actually they are forced to do beyond the duty time limit,
No worries, no
sort of
worries.
thing.
Okay. The information is there, but it is not complete. Okay. We have to plug in the loopholes. Done. Okay, we would see every aspect of that. Okay, but good job. Okay, nobody else was able to say something here. How many people are there here? 6. So you are already in 1 is to 6th. How much is 1 is to 6th? Everyone?
10.67.
16.67. So he is already in top 15%.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? अरे यार अंशुक हाँ, let me mute him. Okay, fine. So these are the questions that we need to ask. Okay, there are certain things that take place from outside India, right? We would also talk about the farm laws that got taken back. Okay, now we are on the economic crossroads. Okay, what is it? A developing nation with the first world problems. What happened with Canada? Let me know. Canada किसको पता है?
They uh, increase the number of NRIs, the number of foreigners increased there, so they banned Indian people, something of
They have
that
not
sort.
banned Indian people, they are banning everyone. Okay, what happened? They took people more than they could digest in that small country. What is Canada dependent upon? How is the economy of Canada? How many of you thought to go to Canada? ये बता दो सबसे पहले. How many of you thought to go to Canada? अरे भाई बताओ. How many of you thought to go to Canada? Okay, no one. That is really, I mean, surprising for me. Right. Okay, no problem. Okay, Krish was suggested, right? Everywhere I meet around 10 people, someone has thought of going to Canada. Okay, and half of the Pune, from where Krish is, half of the Pune is outside India. Right, everyone is going outside India. In Punjab, right, I would say Punjab, with the rights are not like that. Okay, in Punjab, Northern Haryana, Gujarat, and Pune. Other than Keralites go to which country? Do you know that? Let me know.
So mostly Middle Eastern country.
Yes. Good. And what do they bring to India? Okay, we would talk about that. Okay, we would talk about that. Done. So I'm really proud. Okay, that Anshuk is giving these answers, right? Okay. Now the narrative of environmental elitism. So first we would go towards Canada. Okay, Canada. What happened in Canada? How much of the Canadian economy or GDP did Indian students provide? First question. We would understand this with the Canadian problem. Okay, how much GDP did the Indian student provide to the Canadian government? Canadian GDP. Okay, it was around 8 to 10%. 8 to 10%. I have heard about several people who have sold all their land and moved to Canada. What would happen to them now? Will they be happy? No. This is where the, I mean, I remember I was standing in front of the GMAT center in Chandigarh. Okay, and that compound also had what? UK High Commission. So I saw that, okay, 50 people who don't even know English are sitting there. And I remember talking with a person who said that, yahan pe kya hai? Right. And when I said that, they would return in 5 to 6 years. And I was right. They will return. Now it is going to start in UK also. Getting me? Okay. So the problem with these people is that they sell their land and go to foreign places in search of a high class what? Life. But several girls have got into prostitution, okay, after going to Canada because they could not maintain the life they had imagined for themselves. Okay, I know certain people who have saved those girls. So this is what happens when you go without thinking, right? So what is happening in India? So what happened in India? We were talking about what? We were talking about Canadian economy. So Canadian economy was an economy which was driven by mining, logging, and name a company which is from Canada which is related to you. Let me know. Those who have been to Metro, they must know. Which company is from Canada? Okay, let me check once. Okay. Yes. How many of you notice the names of the companies around you? Okay, when you might have noticed that, you might have noticed a name called Bombardier. The first coaches of India was made by these companies, right? The metro coaches. Okay, so Bombardier is a really great uh, Canadian company which manufactures aviation parts and all, right? Okay, so what did Canada do? They mined, processed, and then sent or used those minerals to drive their economy. So what happened? Several people, such as Pierre Poilievre, right? Okay, they said that okay, this is really bad environment. Okay, we would stop all this, and what would you do? We would start selling lands. What happened to the lands? Okay, we would start selling lands. We would start opening colleges. Okay, and filling in Indian students to that. Okay, that would also provide us some money. Selling lands. Okay, selling lands, opening colleges, selling land, opening colleges. What did that do? That was to stop somewhere, right? That was to stop somewhere. Okay, what happened? The economy is tanking. You can find it out. Okay, we would talk more about that. So the economy is tanking. Why is it tanking? Because the resources that you have been provided by the nature, you are not keen on using them, right? So some steps have to be taken for sustainability. What is environmental elitism? Let me know. What do we mean by absolute preservation? Do you understand these words? Let me know.
So,
Hmm? What do they mean?
Environmental elitism is like when the uh, basically the environmental laws are kind of being made by the developed nations or like the wealthy nations, kind
Yes,
of.
yes. Okay. Elitism, I would say elitism is that we talk like elitists in environmentalism, right? Okay. For example, the people who have a lot of carbon footprint. For example, the person who travels through private jet, right? He would have, I mean, the top 1% who travel through private jets have more carbon footprint than all the other people. I hope you know that. Hello.
Yes, sir.
That is called environmental elitism. Right? Okay. That there should be absolute preservation and blanket bans on things. Now, what happened on Instagram that every person was doing and saying, does it make sense now? Does it make sense now? Let me know. जो चल रहा है Instagram पे, does it make sense now? Hello everyone, let me know. Okay, so the people are fools in India, right? They do not read anything, they do not understand anything, but they have everything to say, right? Okay, you might have seen my messages on, I mean, my comments on Reddit, right? You might have seen my comments on Reddit. So what happened was someone commented, okay, that thinking that, okay, there was a student of mine, okay, whom I am mentoring, okay, and I have promised her that she would get FMS at 96. He didn't read that she has got FMS at 96. Okay, so made fool of himself, right, without reading the comment properly, and then he deleted his comment. But I got that in notification, right? So this is what happens. The reality of a resource economy. Now, what is the resource economy? Urgent needs for critical minerals. We have urgent needs of critical minerals, uranium. Let me know. What is the position of India on uranium? Position of India on uranium? Why is uranium important? Why is uranium important? Okay, we would talk about it. We would talk about nuclear energy also. Okay, the whole of India electricity power can be generated by nuclear energy. Okay, we would talk about that. Now, which country has the monopoly over rare earth? Which country has the monopoly over rare earth? I mean, not monopoly. I would say the largest share of rare earth.
China.
Okay, and how is that impacting us? How is
Sir,
it impacting us?
but rare earth metals basically refers to lithium.
Lithium, and also some chip material also.
Hmm.
Read about that.
Silicon.
So through that, what does China do? They do arm twisting. What is arm twisting? That means they have power to control the narrative as well as global trade. Can Nvidia live without new chips? No. Is Nvidia too big to fail? Yes. Would Nvidia shares go down? Yes, 100%. Okay. Shall we move ahead? ये देखो, creating manufacturing jobs for growing population. Now, which job gives the most employment? Which jobs give the most employment? Let me know.
So manufacturing sector.
Yes, manufacturing sector. Manufacturing sector employs the most people. Right. That is why China has the most people employed. Okay, we would see the challenges to manufacturing sector when we would talk about the Indian economy. Shall we move ahead? Okay, India is a low IQ nation. The crisis of public discourse is there. People do not read. They think Twitter is a newspaper. Right? Okay, these are not my words. I have taken this from somewhere. Now, the problem is, we'll talk about the White House model. What happens in White House? How do they communicate? How do they communicate? White House communication. How many of you have watched the serials of White House? Come on, man. Series of White House. How many of you have watched that? Name one. There was a serial called The House of Cards. I think so. Really famous one. And there has been The Diplomat, a President serial. I mean, I like White House serials. Okay. Now, what does happen in White House? As soon as there is a new development, there is a press conference in White House. Right? Morning, evening, anytime. So, does the government do a good work, specifically BJP government, do a good work in emanating the information that is necessary for the people? Let me know. Everyone. Yes. What did I ask? What did I ask? Let me know.
Is the BJP doing good work in
What do you
emanating
think?
the
What do you think?
policies?
You have been here
I
since for
don't.
past 5 years. What do you think?
No,
Angshuk,
sir, I
Angshuk
don't
is
think so.
really proactive on these matters. Angshuk, what do you
Even
think?
I don't think so.
They don't. Right. I would give you example. The which was that act or law that was passed when there was a protest in Which place was that? Near LSR? I forgot the name of the place. Okay. There was some protest against NRC, right? And there was another law, I forgot about that. Can you tell me the name? CA, right? Okay. Was there anything to protest about these? Let me know. Familiar about these terms? How they work?
Yes, sir. There was a massive protest in Assam actually in 2019 regarding the CAA
Assam
Act.
protest is different. They have a legitimate call. Okay, I won't call their protest. I mean, what the central government did with them was really bad. Okay, they didn't deserve to do that. I mean, they didn't deserve that treatment. And Northeast and East has always been neglected. Okay, from the time of independence till today. Okay, I mean, the government right now is focusing on Northeast, but yeah, it was for a long period of time neglected by the central government. How many of you think that? Saheli is from Kolkata and Anshok is from where?
Sir, I'm
Where are
from
you from, Anshok?
Guwahati. Ma'am,
Guwahati,
Guwahati,
right?
Assam.
What has been the change in economic activity right now than 10 years ago?
So there has been a massive difference, sir, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of building up new airport terminals, and many other things, sir.
Oh, the
The
Guwahati airport has come up, right?
Yes, sir. A new integrated terminal has
That is a really
was inaugurated.
that is a really cool airport, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I thought that is a Bangalore airport first by looking at. Okay. And the Bangalore T3 is really, 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 really awesome.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So NRC CEA, every state has an NRC. Every state has an NRC. Okay. And CAA has been passed. Okay. It has been passed in 2004. It has been passed in 1981, I think so. It has been passed in 2014 and it should be passed again because the minorities are being persecuted in countries like let me know.
Sir, CA and
Bangladesh.
NRC, can you explain in short?
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh, Pakistan and Afghanistan,
Pakistan, Afghanistan, yes.
right? The six had to run from there. I hope you remember. Now, do the news channels do their work? Who watches the news channels? Let me know. Who watches the news channel? And YouTubers. Most of the YouTubers choose sensationalism over substance. Okay. They do not give you the right material. They amplify emotional campaigns and create a cycle of stupidity. Okay, I have shared a post today. Hello. Right now. I have shared a post today. What was I asking? Yes, everyone. Hello, 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 hello.
Sir, you mean the LinkedIn post?
Mm-hmm.
You were asking if
I mean, how many people
certain.
went through it? Nobody went through it, right? Okay.
I did.
You did, but the number of
Sir, I
likes are
also did.
less than the sensational post that you might have seen. Okay, there was a post by Yash, okay, which we had prepared, and there was a post by Bhamini in the same batch. Now, Bhamini had a cute picture there, and she had around 1800 likes. Yash had around 100 likes, same content. What do you think? Okay, that is why I said that Indian people are what is low income third world country that behave like a high income first world country, right? Okay, in terms of this environmental concerns, right? But we would be more, let us say, informed by now on. They amplify emotional campaigns and create the cycle of stupidity rather than providing clear factual breakdowns of complex issues. Now, how do you do that? We would learn that. Okay, we would learn that through what? Which practices lead to factual breakdowns of complex issues? First of all, let me know. ताकि तुम कर सको उसको, इसलिए बता रहा हूँ. Let me know. First of all,
I didn't get the question.
okay, what practice leads you to factually break down complex issues when you would be practicing these topics for interviews? Let me know. The writing process. Okay, just the writing process, the critical writing process. Getting me? Okay, so we would have to do a lot of writing. AWT or VAT is not just for giving you a chance to have a job. Okay, these are all the habits that would take you towards a greater goal, a greater position in the future. The Aravali controversy was fueled by the fundamental misleading of court order, right? You can take this, right? Then I am moving forward. Now there are certain problems that I need to discuss. How many of you have been to Mumbai? Let me know. Mumbai, anyone?
Yes, sir.
Krish has been
Yes.
to
Uh,
Mumbai. Anyone else?
Yes, sir. I've
Okay.
lived in Mumbai for 4 years.
Okay. How is Mumbai?
I was not living like main Mumbai. I was living in Navi Mumbai, so
Okay.
I know more about that area as
So there
such.
is Navi Mumbai this side, and there is sea in between, and there is Old Mumbai. Right? Am I right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Vashi,
Vashi, Nerul,
Tanpada.
Sanpada, Nerul, Khargar.
Okay. So what happened there is that it is a land like this. What's happening to the left side? Why aren't we? How many of you know that how Mumbai was built? How was Mumbai built? Let me know. Mumbai was a group of 7 islands, right? And then the land was filled, and this peninsular structure came out. Done. Now, there is a small channel here between Navi Mumbai and Mumbai. And here, the flat, a 2 bedroom flat, is of 5 crore. अब पूछोगे, why is the rate so high? Is that the rate in Delhi also? Let me know. No, right? Even in Gurgaon, right, 100 crore flats is a news. In Mumbai, 100 crore flats is just like every other day in the South Mumbai part, this part. So, what is stopping us from reclaiming this land? Intelligent question. Let me know. I hope you have understood the map. कल दिखा भी दूंगा. what is stopping us from reclaiming this land?
There's a mangrove belt, right?
Mangrove belt, right? Did it come after the reclamation or before the reclamation?
I don't know that, but there's definitely protected area and there's a mangrove belt that you can't have like buildings
Now
or
that
anything. You can
mangrove belt
have.
is just 0.1% of the total mangrove belt of India. Are you seeing this? And there are other projects where that has been done. There was another protest in Mumbai. Okay, the RA forest protest. Have you seen that? Hello. Many
Yes,
people
sir.
participated in that. Okay, for example, वो क्या है नाम उसका? Kapoor. Who was that Kapoor?
Sir, it was for the metro, right?
Yeah. Who was that Kapoor? अरे उसका क्या नाम है यार? I don't watch movies anymore. I mean Bollywood movies. Okay, कपूर का क्या नाम था? सोनम कपूर नो. शक्ति कपूर की बेटे का क्या नाम है? Shraddha Kapoor, right? Shraddha Kapoor went there, okay, and that guy, कोयला काला है, क्या नाम है उसका? Akhtar, Farhan Akhtar, right? They went there. Now the problem is that it had to be a depot. Okay, now they started shouting that okay, RA forests are the lungs of Mumbai or something like that. Okay, now what would have happened if this area was given to the metro? Okay, otherwise the metro had to go to 2 or 3 kilometers away. Now getting it here saves a lot of carbon emission in Mumbai. Okay, by the way, Mumbai metro is third class. A lot of carbon emission would be saved. Okay, more carbon emission would be saved than what is recycled by RA. Isn't that good? Let me know.
Yes.
This is what happens, right? We are not able to make the cost analysis of a certain project. Okay, and we would talk about land acquisition and all, right, which is happening in India, right? Why the infrastructure of India suffers. I have a book for that. Okay, I would have to go through the notes and all. I have to make all the points. Okay, so I would make the point for you. So we will talk about that also. Done. So I hope you have gone through. I hope you have understood properly the Aravali range protest. Okay. The news is being made out of thin air, and since people do not read, I mean people get involved in these things and they don't focus on what needs to be focused, right? We would also talk about that. Okay, what was the role of the government in the fiasco that happened in Indigo? We would also talk about that, right? How can we amend what is happening with us in drains? People are dying, right? Property is being what? Damaged. What can we do as citizens? What can we do to change that situation? Any hint here? This is the last monologue that I would give. Okay, yeah, any hint here? How can we change the clogging of drains and all?
Maybe add more dustbins
Think about
because
that.
people.
Think about that. Okay, that is something related to system. Think about that. We would meet again day after tomorrow maybe. Okay, and we would talk about that. Done? Everyone, I hope it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so one thing you have to do, Okay, since you know that we do not have many students in our batch, and as many students as we have, okay, we won't have more than 80 students in any scenario. Now, what you need to do is you are in the open group, right? Okay, those who are not there, I would add you, right? You need to put the review of the class there. Okay, just need 1 to 2 reviews. Okay, so that the people who have been added to the group, they might see and they might find some value in the classes. Done, everyone? I would upload this class on the portal. I need to upload the material also prepared by Tejaswini. You need to read the first chapter tomorrow or second chapter. I would ask Tejaswini how many lessons she would cover. Okay, that is it for today. Okay,